the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 197. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Brian.
And don't let this man fool you. He sounds calm right now, but when we get to a certain point in the show, it's going to pop off.
I have absolutely no idea what you're referring to, other than it being a very exciting and eventful week in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not saying that I'm not saying you're gonna pop off in a bad way. I'm saying you're gonna pop off in a big way.
I have no idea what you're referring to. I can't possibly imagine. I mean,
you have no idea, but our viewers know. If you've been with us for a while, you know. You know exactly what's coming.
I couldn't possibly imagine, but I guess we'll discover it together as we start talking about Raw and SmackDown. But first, there are a couple little other tidbits we need to kick this show off with. In a little segment we like to call
Backstage News. Meh.
I wouldn't say meh. There's quite a lot of things to be happy about, because wrestling is fun.
Maybe.
Including, just breaking news this week, we've got Mark Henry going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
You know, if you're looking at statistics, then this might give you a huh? But when you think about the backstage manner of this guy, and the people that he's brought in and had the WWE give an opportunity to, this makes all the sense in the world.
Oh yeah,
this is actually awesome. As Triple H has put it, the Hall of Fame for one night will become the Hall of Pain. And you know what?
Cool.
All the kudos.
Do it.
All right, that was one. What was that? 2009, 2010. That was one of the best storylines of that year. Mark Henry, the Hall of Pain, and also, okay, you had guys on Twitter like Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman saying that basically Mark Henry was the one who gave them the shot, who took them under his wing when they got to the WWE and were like, hey, look at this guy. And Mark Henry did that. So really, okay, did he have a stellar in-ring career for the WWE? Maybe for about a summer. Maybe for about a year and a half or so.
I've got to praise him a little bit more than that.
Well, I'm not, well, you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah, at a top level.
At a top level, Mark Henry was one of the guys for about a year and a half. But he was always a guy who would put younger talent over that they were building up. And when you hear about what he did backstage and how he's helped a whole bunch of people, yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame. He's done great things.
And not only just that, this is one
and
of
that
those
retirement promo
that
should put him in the Hall of Fame just for that fake out. That might still be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's people. As soon as this was announced, I kept seeing people all online saying, "Okay, for his Hall of Fame speech, he has to come out in the salmon suit again.
He has to come out in the salmon suit. Okay, he's got to cut that same promo, except leave out the fake out at the end. The fake out might have been the greatest twist.
That was amazing.
That I have ever seen in my time watching the WWE. The greatest twist ever when he's shaking John Cena's hand and then he
brings him in.
Like, it brings him in for you think he's throwing him in for a bear hug? No. World's Strongest Slim. And he's like, that's what I do!
I got a whole lot left in the tank.
And you know what? Alright. Just for that twist alone and that great promo, okay, Hall of Fame worthy right there.
Yeah, not for nothing, just through sheer volume of stuff he did during the Attitude Era and beyond, and just not just being consistent, but also actively improving the entire time that he was with the company. I mean, this is just staggering. So much so that, yeah, as soon as it was announced, I figured, you know what? It's about time. He deserves it.
I just hope that they don't try to make a joke out of it and do something stupid like the Hand inducting him into the
I don't think they're going to go that far.
I really hope not. But, yeah, definitely Hall of Fame worthy.
Well,
when you actually think hard about it, definitely Hall of Fame worthy.
Well, on that note, since we're talking about Hall of Fame, and since it looks like the people who will be inducting whom here are starting to slowly be announced.
I love the fact that Edge and Christian are inducting the Dudley Boys.
It makes all the sense in the world,
and it does. Do the Broken Hardys show up on the stage as well? Who knows?
I doubt they'll go that far. But as a scholar's quick talk, if you had to pick someone to induct Mark Henry into the Hall of Fame, who would it be?
See, that's a problem. Because I really don't know. I know who it shouldn't be. I know it shouldn't be Michael Hayes. I'll tell you that.
I did not think of that.
Yeah, it really shouldn't.
Went.
It really shouldn't.
That's why I doubt it will be.
Let's see, Mark Henry. I could think of any of his Nation of Domination people doing it.
Yes. I was gonna say maybe The Godfather.
Yeah, The Godfather. Maybe bring D'Lo.
D'Lo is a good one too.
See, that's a tough one. Because it's like, he did a lot for people backstage, but like, you never really heard about friendships in the business that involved Mark Henry. You know what I mean?
At least nothing that was,
nothing
specific.
That was overt and like out in the open, like, whoa. So, storyline wise, I would go any one of the Nation of Domination people. Mm-hmm. Maybe even Cena with that promo.
Hey, it sounds like as much of a possibility as any other at this point.
Yeah, this is one of those where it's like, I really don't know. Mm-hmm. That's a tough one, because you don't really know who he did a lot for, but you don't know who he was friends with.
Yeah, it seems, from what I understand, it just seems like he was one of those guys who was pretty much well liked and respected by everybody.
Yeah.
So, any number, that's definitely going to be a big surprise. Like we were talking about with Edge and Christian inducting the Dudley Boys, that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me, it does. So, as far as Mark Henry, I can't even begin to imagine.
I mean, the Big Show could do it. I mean, he was a big thing. He was a big part of that Hall of Pain.
That's a possibility, I guess.
Hall of Pain summer.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't Mark Henry fight the Big Show like a bunch of times and actually put him through? He put him through the ring. I know that. Didn't he put him through a cage?
Did he? I really don't remember too much about that period of time for the Hall of Pain stuff.
I know that he annihilated the Big Show over and over and over again in different ways. So,
well, I guess that's a big possibility then, no pun intended.
Because that was also when Daniel Bryan cashed in, right? During one of those Mark Henry Big Show fights.
That could have, yeah, huh. I don't know. It's a strong possibility.
And the Big Show, I guess maybe the Big Show won, or Mark Henry won, and the Big Show knocked him out, and that's when Daniel Bryan came out, and that led to that triple threat at the Rumble.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, either way, one thing's for sure, that's a very deserving member of the WWE community is finally getting his time in the sun. a very well-deserved accolade. Kudos to you, Mark Henry. You definitely deserve it. As much as that phrase is overused these days, you know what? Mark Henry, you definitely do deserve this one.
No doubt.
But speaking of things that people deserve, let's get into the rest of this week in wrestling, because, oh boy, a lot of people got what they deserved. Starting off with this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. First of all, we're kicking things off with a Brock Lesnar segment where he apparently gave Roman Reigns an epic beatdown.
Yes, epic beatdown. And you know what? Okay, after this beatdown, I no longer think that this Universal title match can be a regular one-on-one.
I didn't think it was going to be.
Well, I mean, after this, you can now start building up the street fight, the no holds barred, or whatever it's going to be at the end. Because Brock Lesnar beat the ever loving shit out of Roman Reigns. Like it was disturbing how Roman Reigns got like no offense in. It was just Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of him. And I know that and it actually did its job, because I'm actually looking forward to. Remember how I said that WrestleMania wasn't really the build to WrestleMania wasn't really catching me?
Now it just picked up.
Yeah. That we finally reached the point. I mean, what, we're like 3 weeks away? Yeah, so way to hold it back until we're almost there. But we've reached the point where I'm at least somewhat interested in this Universal title match now, because now I know that even though I know who's going to win, and I know that a certain person is done after this match, now that they're setting up this match in a way that benefits both men. Think about it: Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in a street fight.
That could be somewhat interesting.
After the just brawl that they had at their WrestleMania main event a few years ago, before Seth Rollins came out, if Brock Lesnar doesn't do what he did with Goldberg when he was leaving the company last time, this could be greatness.
If they're here's what I'm thinking. If they in order to get the most out of a match like this, because I'm one of those people who is sort of emotionally checked out of this just because of the players involved. Like, it's another Roman Reigns in the spotlight match. I don't care if Brock Lesnar's in it. I have a harder time caring about this match than a lot of other matches on the card. But if they do it right, I'm thinking, if you look back at the last couple of years of WrestleMania, let's say they do put this in the main event. If they put this in the main event, it's going to have to be some sort of big bombastic spectacle. Doesn't have to be the most technical match in the card, but it needs to be some sort of crazy spectacle in order to send the fans home happy and to close out what is going to be, no doubt, a very long show. So I'm thinking maybe if they do that with a whole bunch of big, like, crazy outside that, like, spears through the barricade, spears through the ring, blah, 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 blah. That will be, if the rest of the show is paced nicely enough, like, maybe second to the last match, you've got, like, that's when you put on AJ versus Nakamura. The penultimate match, you just put in some other random match on the card, so everyone sort of wakes up again, and then you do Brock versus Roman in a street fight, Hell in a Cell, whatever. That's when you do that, and then that's when everyone will perk up one final time, and then that's when you send. That's how you sort of match the tempo and send the fans home happy.
Because let's face it, okay, Roman Reigns is gonna get booed out of the stadium. Is gonna get booed out of the building. Okay, we know that already. Okay, but it's been shown that when he's in a match that goes well with his strengths. Okay, he's a brawler. Okay, you what was the problem with his Triple H match and his Undertaker match? Okay, let's be honest. The Triple H and the Undertaker couldn't keep up. Couldn't match up to Roman Reigns. Because, let's face it, okay? The problem with Roman Reigns has never been the wrestling. Okay? It just hasn't. It's never been the problem. He puts on good matches all the time. It's just the problem is that the WWE tries to make him something that he isn't.
He's a good wrestler who they try and market as a great one.
Yes. If you cater to his strengths, which is brawling and powerhouse stuff, okay, the Undertaker, even though he's a brawler and a powerhouse, okay, he can't. He's too slow now. He's too slow. It doesn't look like his brawling has any strength, and he's not as good as he once was. There's no problem with that. Anyone can admit it. Mm-hmm. Okay, putting him against Roman Reigns, the match never had a shot of being any good. Okay, mm-hmm. Triple H, okay, they just didn't match up well together. That's it. But the last time he was in a main event that was really good, it was against Brock Lesnar. And a guy who is the same strengths as Roman Reigns. Okay, he's a big brawler. Okay, he's got the speed. He's got the athleticism. Okay, these are two guys who know how to fight each other. We've seen that in that WrestleMania match. Everyone was talking shit about that match going into it, and it was actually really good. Even before people try to say that Seth Rollins is the reason that match was great. No. The ending of that match... It was
the reason it had a great ending.
It was the reason why people were talking about it the next day at the water coolers, but the match itself was awesome as well. Okay? And you add in a stipulation to that and just have it be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Okay? This could be Roman Reigns' best match of his career. If Brock Lesnar does business the right way going out,
I think he will, honestly.
Which is the real question here, okay? Because we know that both of them can go when they fight each other. Okay, we didn't know whether Goldberg and Brock Lesnar could go with each other at WrestleMania 20 when they put on that shitfest. Okay, we know already that these two can go in a match with each other. Okay, add in something big, add in a big stipulation, we could have greatness on our hands here, whether the crowd is into it or not.
Very well could be, and honestly, again, just with the way you've just been describing that, you've actually done a much better job of getting me invested in this match than WWE has so far. So, again, as the weeks go on, we'll see where this picks up. But speaking of seeing where this goes, next up we have the continued adventures of John Cena trying to get into WrestleMania to face The Undertaker. This week he was calling out The Undertaker. He kept, mocking The Undertaker, trying to get him to come out and respond to him. And, well, Kane responded, and he chokeslammed John Cena.
Which is
what is this about?
Well, we know what's going to happen here. Okay, John Cena's going to beat Kane on Raw. Okay. He's probably going to do something that puts Kane out. I mean, like, out so he can go beat Politics Kane again. Okay. This is legit a 2-week return for Kane. He comes out to attack John Cena. Okay. John Cena puts him out this coming week. Undertaker accepts the challenge the week after because John Cena will do something after the match that puts Kane out for good. Or, air quotes, for good.
Until the next time.
Until the next time that someone is needed to bring the Undertaker back in. But I just hate that this is where they went with this. It's just like John Cena throws out the challenge. He comes out to the ring at WrestleMania, and that's when the Undertaker answers the challenge. That's it. You don't need any other stuff. I don't need to see Kane again. I don't. Kane had a good run. I'm not invested anymore. I don't care about Kane, and I really don't care about a John Cena Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
I'll be honest with you, neither do I. After the way the last year ended, I just don't want to just let the Undertaker, all pun intended, rest in peace.
This is a year too late. John Cena versus The Undertaker should have been last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to give Roman Reigns his moment in the sun or whatever, you have The Undertaker beat John Cena last year. Then John Cena can go off and do his movies and have his WrestleMania breakdown this year. Have it do the same thing, and have some other kind of match, and have Roman Reigns retire The Undertaker this year. It makes no sense for The Undertaker to be coming back now because of how last year ended. And just because, and basically, okay, they're doing John Cena versus The Undertaker in storyline terms because John Cena's a whiny little bitch. Basically.
You're so not
it's
wrong.
Like so it's like that's how you're gonna build to this matchup of the two Goliaths of the industry for the last 10 years. Okay, that's how you're gonna do it. John Cena lost 3 championship matches or ways to get into matches at WrestleMania, so he's gonna whine and complain until he gets a match with The Undertaker. That's how this is happening?
Yep.
I don't care. I don't, and bringing in Kane does not make me want to see John Cena versus The Undertaker any more than just him issuing the challenge and showing up at WrestleMania and Undertaker answering the challenge would have.
I'm in the same boat with you. However, unlike the last match we were talking about, Brock Lesnar versus Roman, this one at this point, I guess as much as I don't want to see it, I'm still very curious as far as what the build is going to be for it. I'm still probably going to be watching it. I'll be looking forward to it, presuming that this really is The Undertaker's last match. If it's for that, I'd be more curious to see how they actually do it and what they actually do for the lead up, for the match itself, and all of that.
If it's The Undertaker's last match, okay, they need to pull off something that's bigger than last year. Because last year, with the coat, the hat, and the gloves in the middle of the ring, that was the perfect send-off.
It really was.
Really. So how do you top that? How do you top that this year? That's the only thing I'm curious to see, because the match is going to be bad. The match is going to be bad. I don't think The Undertaker can go anymore. I see his workout videos. Really doesn't mean anything to me because he had workout videos last year too, and look how that match turned out.
Well, then again...
I'm going to be that guy. I'm not throwing the fault at Roman Reigns' feet for that match. He did the best he could with what he was given in The Undertaker.
Which is why I suspect that if whoever pitched the idea of Cena versus The Undertaker, I think that's why they're giving this match to John Cena, because he's got a way bigger proven track record of carrying matches, companies, whatever. That they can trust the Undertaker. They can trust the Undertaker to John Cena and they can extract something decent out of it.
Yeah, you know he's good at leading matches because you can hear him leading matches every time he has a match.
Proven track record.
Yeah.
There we go.
You can hear.
Yeah. But again, we'll see how this all progresses. Hopefully it won't be total junk, but hey, prove us wrong, WWE. In the
Prove us
meantime,
wrong, Undertaker.
in the meantime, let's talk about my personal favorite thing this week. I am, of course, talking about the Ultimate Deletion match. You can't tell me this wasn't fantastic.
I'll tell you what. Okay. For the WWE's version of the Ultimate Deletion, okay, this is great. This is fantastic.
Well, they did again. We did talk about they got Jeremy Borash on board with WWE. They're to do it exactly like any other Broken Hardy segment, and which is exactly what this was. It was 110% authentic.
Yeah, you had everybody who was a part of the Broken Hardy storyline in TNA. Everyone was there. Vanguard, Senior Benjamin, Rebby Skarsgård. You had the appearance by Brother Nero, and I like the fact of what they're doing with the aftermath.
That was really neat.
Okay, because now they're gonna repackage Bray Wyatt, which is a good thing because let's face it, they basically did everything they can do with that stick, right?
At least give because I don't think they're gonna get rid of Bray Wyatt.
I don't think they're gonna get rid of Bray Wyatt, but they're going to reincarnate him as a different version.
Freshen him up.
Bray Wyatt version 2, if you will. Okay, and I like the fact that did you see Twitter this morning?
This morning,
when Matt Hardy fished something out of the lake of reincarnation.
Yes, he has the lantern now.
Yeah, so it's like when Bray Wyatt comes back. Okay, I think Bray Wyatt is going to reincarnate into. This gives him a way to come back. Okay, because the lantern is the part of Bray Wyatt that everybody knows. He comes out with the lantern. Okay, so now he's going to come back, and he's probably going to be... He's probably still going to be with the Hardy storyline. Okay, except he's going to be a part of Team Hardy.
So, in other words, you do believe that Tarek's theory or wish is true, that we will see
I don't know if there's a team
and a Wyatt team up.
I don't know about a team up, but him still having the lantern means something. So the storyline will continue, but I don't think they're gonna have it's not gonna be a one-on-one Bray Wyatt versus. Anymore.
Yeah, they pretty much done all they could. They did literally everything they could with just a one-on-one match setting.
Yeah, and it all depends on what Matt Hardy does with the lantern.
Apparently, give it to King Maxwell and just to play with it.
For now. But that gives it means they're not done with the Bray Wyatt character.
Oh, no way. He's too much of a workhorse.
So they're gonna they're gonna give it a few weeks, a month. They're gonna repackage Bray Wyatt. I think they should turn him face. I really do. This is a way to do that. And the match itself is great.
Oh yeah,
it was. Bray Wyatt versus a drone. It
was so straight laced.
Yeah,
I honestly, I gotta say, I love the whole segment with the land of obsolete men, complete Scooby-Doo shenanigans.
Yeah, Land of Obsolete Men, Bray Wyatt versus a drone, and the Lake of Reincarnation making a comeback.
Chair of wheels.
Chair of wheels.
Mower of lawns.
Which one?
Dang it, we love you, Matt Hardy. You can't say that Woken Matt is not great.
If this was the ending to the beginning of the feud was good. The middle 2 months were shit. You can't deny that.
They were slow and ill balanced.
They were bad.
Mm-hmm.
You could put it any way you want. They were bad. Okay, but if this was what it was all leading up to, and we get a fresh take of the Bray Wyatt character coming out of it, okay, then I'm happy with what we got at the end. That was fun. Like I didn't know how the WWE was gonna do. Oh, and Michael Cole. Shut up. Really? Okay. Shitting on it before it starts.
Well, guess what?
Matt Hardy should delete you. The Lake of Reincarnation is calling your name, Michael Cole.
Yes, so you'll refrost your hair and get back that stupid goatee that you used to have.
And I like that they thought so much of it that they gave it the main event spot.
They had to.
That was
a very good call on their part. They definitely made the right call on that one.
Yeah. So definitely not what I thought they were gonna do with the Ultimate Deletion. I thought that they were gonna completely change it. Like that did feel like the TNA. That felt like the Broken Universe for a minute. It felt like we were back a couple years when the Broken Hardys were the best thing going in the business. It felt for a moment like we had that back. The question is, where do they go from here?
I'm going to answer that in the form of another Scholar's Quick Talk question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not likely to happen, 10 being almost guaranteed to happen. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you think that Broken Matt is going to win the Money in the Bank?
3.
3? I'm going to say a 6.
See, because
I think he's a much strong... After this match and all the hype, I'm convinced he's a much more viable candidate for that position than he was maybe a couple months ago.
Here's the thing. Okay. As much as I like the fact that Vince McMahon gave it the main event spot, there was talk backstage that he thought that Ultimate Deletion was going to fail and be a big flop. He didn't trust in it. So, as much as I think that it worked and all that, I think that there's other people in mind for this year's Money in the Bank. If you're asking me about next year, 2019, I'd say that there's a better shot there than. But I think that this year, it's really Finn Balor's to lose. Really, when I think about it, and I think they have their hooks in too many people for Broken Matt right now.
Yeah, even so, just given the sheer response that
I'll raise it up to a 4.
Yeah, I was gonna put him at a 6 personally, but I'm just convinced. Yeah. Even though I'm positive that you're absolutely right that not a lot of people really believed in this segment if they haven't seen any of the other segments. With this being received as universally well as it has been, I'm guessing that probably was a good catalyst to change a lot of minds that it actually did work, including Vince McMahon.
Well, here's the problem with that statement, okay? I think that this is the first time with the whole Woken Matt experiment. They've been doing it for 4 months. This is the first time that it's been universally said that this is great.
Mm-hmm.
First time in 4 months. I don't think they're going to base a thing that they have so much put into, like the Money in the Bank, off of someone who was universally
considered to be underwhelming
into something that's been underwhelming for 4 months. Like, this is the first time since the opening promo that I've been like, oh, this feels like something that could main event. This was the first time since the promo. And I don't think they'll put something like the Money in the Bank on that when it's been 4 months and this is the first time. That's it.
Now, remind me, do you know when the Money in the Bank is?
Think it's in June.
June? Okay.
June or July. And I don't think it's enough time to get that character up to that point.
Yeah.
So
Which
this
is
year,
why I'm putting him at a 6.
This year I'll go.
Yes.
This year I'll go 4. Next year it'll go up again.
Yeah.
But this year it took too long. It took too long to be universally accepted. It took too long. The last 2 months were stupid. The first month was great. I would have been with you if he kept it at the first month's pace. But the last 2 months sucked for Woken Matt. I was not into it at all. So I'm not high on the Money in the Bank Woken Matt this year. Not high on it at all.
Okay. But even so, I'm just glad the Ultimate Deletion turned out as well as it did. And
yeah.
It sort of tells me that, you know what? They're going to do a heck of a lot more.
And I'm happy that came out this morning, because it means that they're not done, and Bray Wyatt still has a part to play.
Mm-hmm.
Which, because let's face facts, after this feud with Matt Hardy, where did you think Bray Wyatt was going to go?
I have absolutely no idea.
I really don't think they had anything for him, because he's done the heel thing for so long. I'm pretty sure he's fought everybody on the good guy side. So maybe it's time to reincarnate him as a fresh face, Bray Wyatt.
I would love that.
We all know how the crowd wanted it when he teamed up with Roman Reigns that one time. And the crowd blew up when he got Roman Reigns over. When he teamed with Roman Reigns.
You're not wrong.
So, come through, WWE. Give me faith in Bray Wyatt again.
And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
You took him all the way down to the land of reincarnation. Let's get it done. That's it.
Well, speaking of the Lake of Reincarnation, let's move on to SmackDown Live, because let's face it, someone just got reincarnated.
It's time. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, really, there's only one thing that we could possibly really get into here in terms of things happening on SmackDown, and that is, seemingly out of nowhere, we got... Apparently the WWE medical officials have officially cleared Daniel Bryan to return to in-ring competition.
This literally came out of nowhere early Tuesday morning. Okay? No one was talking about it. No one knew that Daniel Bryan was going to the doctor Monday night. It just showed up on Twitter and everybody was like, what? Ah! And I play around on this podcast. I play a part here that I don't have anything against Daniel Bryan. Okay? I think some of his fans are a little out of control.
I could say the same about a lot of wrestling fans, but sheer passion level, sure.
Yeah, I kind of fell off the Daniel Bryan bandwagon back during those Royal Rumbles, you know. I don't like this person must win the Royal Rumble crowd. I don't like
see that.
I don't like the statement this person must win. No. Okay. And when you say it over and over again, you get results like we got on the podcast that one time. Which was me finally snapping and going, you know what? Fuck Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
But
when you put it that way, okay. Yep. Anyway, continue.
There's no mistaking this man's passion and drive for the business. And I respect that. And I love him as a competitor. But when your fan base is out of control, I turn on you a little bit. But this is good stuff. I'm happy that he got cleared and that he can actually do what he loves to do. Mm-hmm. I'm happy for him. Just I really hope that his fan base doesn't turn into that rabid crowd that was happening before he got hurt in the first place, because I don't want to have to turn into that guy again.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. As someone who you could really make a case that I was one of those people. As someone who is in that mentality of Daniel Bryan must win this thing, Daniel Bryan must win that thing. As someone who definitely, I admit, had that type of mindset, I don't think it's going to be the same way, and I'll tell you why. When Daniel Bryan was very, very big, when he was like white hot, one big reason why he was white hot was because he was the forerunner to a type of wrestling that was considered to be like indie or way too technical. This was before the current state of NXT and, you know, guys like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura being all over the place. Really, when it came to that element, that indie recognition on the WWE stage, Daniel Bryan was it. And not only was he it, in the past there have really only been like one champion of that type of wrestling. But in the past it was CM Punk. In the past it was Daniel Bryan. There was really only one, maybe two if you were lucky, of that type of wrestler at the time. So that when they did come in, you would have the reaction of, oh yeah, everyone who was a fan of that type of indie wrestling or just independent wrestling in general, everyone who was a fan of that type of wrestling would rally behind that person. It was CM Punk in the past. It was Daniel Bryan before. And now because Daniel Bryan got over in such a big, big way, and the corporation as a whole recognized that and honored that, now NXT has exploded, and by extension the main roster has exploded. Now we've got things that we thought we'd never see. We got AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. The list goes on, and that's just on the main roster right now. I mean, if you're talking about people in NXT right now, you've got, just from the men's division, you've got Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Andrade Cien Almas. They just brought in Ricochet. It's just there's so much independent talent now that really, for the first time in ever, I think, the fan of independent wrestling does not need to worry about having the type of wrestling they like being represented on WWE programming on a regular basis like they needed to before. With Daniel Bryan before, now it's like sink or float. He was the one people's champion that existed. Now there are several people's champions. There's a smorgasbord of people who the independent wrestling fan will like. There's Owens, there's Zayn, there's Nakamura, there's AJ, there's Finn Balor, there's the Club, and the list the list can go on and on. There's actually a list now. Now
you've also got Ambrose and Rollins. They were They were big on the independent
Jon
scene.
Moxley and Tyler Black. There you go.
Well, and here's the thing, okay? I get that Daniel Bryan has the stuff and really should be the face of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He's still, even as a GM, he was as over as he was as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The crowd loves the guy. Okay? Just don't. As long as you stay even keel and don't, because Daniel Bryan shouldn't win every match. He shouldn't. Mm-hmm. That's what an underdog is. Okay, Daniel Bryan will always be the best underdog that the WWE has ever seen, that wrestling itself has ever seen. Okay, that's his niche. That's his spot. And underdogs need to lose at some point. Therefore, don't tell me. Let's not bring back the Daniel Bryan must win. Actually, sometimes Daniel Bryan must lose. Okay,
and I completely agree with you. And that's really the point I was driving at just a moment ago. The desperation that once used to fuel that reaction that you used to see like 3 years ago, because of the way WWE is right now,
it really shouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah, it does. It's that sentiment, that desperation is effectively dead. Now, when we're going into a Daniel Bryan match,
you can actually enjoy it for what it is.
Now there's no desperation. Now all you can think of, there's no Daniel Bryan must beat this hurdle in order for me to see the kind of wrestling that I want. Now the sentiment is, now that Daniel Bryan's back, there's so many different dream matches that can happen. There's him versus AJ, him versus Nakamura, him versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which is more than likely to happen now.
Yeah, I think I know what the match at WrestleMania is going to be.
I think we all know now.
It's going to be Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
And you know what? I am perfectly okay with that.
And that's a lot better than I thought we were getting with Shane McMahon.
This is honestly perfect.
Because, okay, that promo that Daniel Bryan cut automatically put him back as top face in the company.
That was beautiful.
Okay, that was beautiful stuff. That also gets him right back into the underdog story. Mm-hmm. He was an underdog just to make it back to the WWE to wrestle again. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that promo he cut it right to the bone. Okay, and puts him right back as that underdog, mm-hmm. top face of the company. Okay, and then you have the two big bruising heels come out and beat the shit out of him. Okay, and I know why that happened. Okay, that's to show the people that Daniel Bryan is able to take a beating of that caliber. Okay, that was to show that he can actually do all facets of wrestling again. Because they needed to know that he could take the style bumps. He could take the kick to the face. He could take the power bomb to the apron. They needed to know that he could actually do that. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are safe enough that they were able to pull it off without a hitch, and you believed that Daniel Bryan could take the punishment, mm-hmm. which is good because we know that he's back now. Mm-hmm. So basically, everything that had to do with Daniel Bryan tonight was on SmackDown was on point, perfect execution. All around, and guess what? I'm invested in WrestleMania now.
See, I knew it was going to happen. And it only took a beloved fan favorite to come out of retirement for it.
Yeah, and 3 years is a long enough time that my burning hatred of Daniel Bryan before he left because of his fan base has come back down to normal levels.
Yeah, I'm 100% convinced that again, you're not going to see what you saw 3 or 4 years ago. The desperation simply does not exist anymore. Daniel Bryan can take a loss without having... Again, if Daniel Bryan takes a loss, you can still... There's still plenty of hope for... Again, you've already got AJ Styles as the WWE champion. I mean, you really can't beat that. Plus, you've got Nakamura in the mix. You've got any number of other people on the main roster and in NXT who are ready to put on the kind of wrestling that you and me and the rest of the people like us want to see. I think I can honestly say that WWE seems to be hitting its stride in terms of just really providing a wrestling show for every kind of wrestling fan, including the people who love independent style wrestling. Again, now that there's no desperation in the air anymore, now we can really go back to just flat out enjoying the matches without the desperate feeling. And I think that's back to where we want to be, at least for you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So with that being said, let's close this thing out with a little Raw versus SmackDown Live. Which one was the better show of the week? Just flat out.
For the first time in a long time, I'm going to say SmackDown Live. Basically because I'm more invested on the SmackDown side of WrestleMania at this point, after this week, than the Raw side. I like where they're going with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. I like what they did with the Ultimate Deletion match. Other than that, I could take or leave most of the Raw side of the card right now. Most of what they're doing. Okay, I could take it or leave it. And with SmackDown, okay, the fact that AJ Styles is injured is kind of hurting the build to that match a little bit, in my eyes. But I'm still interested in AJ versus Nakamura, even though I'm not as interested as I should be for it. And nothing this week beats the return of Daniel Bryan and every segment that Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn are the stars of this week. Mm-hmm. For me, in a big way. And them being on SmackDown automatically makes SmackDown Live the better show this week for me.
Yeah, I gotta admit, this one, obvious as you might expect, this one came down to the spectacle of the Ultimate Deletion versus the spectacle of, Daniel Bryan, one of the best wrestlers of his generation, is coming back to wrestle. This one was extremely, extremely hard for me. And again, I thought of what my answer was going to be before you even said anything, so I'm not just saying this, but I'm going to go with Raw, just because in terms of just again, I love that Daniel Bryan's back. Yes, the hype is definitely carrying over into WrestleMania, but in terms of just sheer wrestling spectacle and just getting what I definitely wanted to see out of a wrestling product, I really wanted to... If I had any of that aforementioned fan desperation, I really, really wanted them to really nail it with the Ultimate Deletion match, to get that broken mat vibe type of match again. And honestly, I got it. So, and it delivered in terms of entertainment value. Daniel Bryan, to me, was just more of a feel-good moment. It was like waking up to some great news. This one, but Raw, in terms of just the match and the show they put on, that was just plain enjoyable. And again, they're both fantastic shows with huge moments, but I knew I had to make a decision on one way or the other, and I had to make it Raw.
The reason I didn't make it Raw was because, yeah, the Ultimate Deletion match was great. Okay, but it was one moment in a 3-hour show. And, yeah, they nailed it. Okay, but what happened the other 2 hours? Mm-hmm. Other than the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns beatdown, I don't remember.
There was also the Kane John Cena segment.
Yeah,
there was also a segment with that we didn't talk about yet with Alexa Bliss and Asuka, which seems to be setting up for 2 potential future feuds.
Or the fact that Alexa Bliss and Asuka are fighting on Raw this week.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's all that went on in a 3-hour show, one match isn't gonna, whether how great it was or not, whether it nailed it or not, it's not gonna be enough to give it show of the week. So you had Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You had Nakamura versus Rusev, and Nakamura showing that he didn't need AJ's help to take out Rusev and Aiden English. Okay, there you had the Usos cutting a great promo. I'm like, I was never bored with SmackDown, and that's really what I base stuff on. Was I bored at any point? And how often and how long was I bored? And I was never bored with SmackDown. I was bored for very big chunks of Raw.
Hey, point well taken. But anyway, that's 1 for 1. You've already heard what we think. Now we're tagging you in, our audience. Let us know what you think. Which one did you like better, Raw or SmackDown? What was the biggest moments for you personally? Was it Daniel Bryan coming back? Was it the Ultimate Deletion match? Or was it something else entirely? So, of course, let us know in all the usual manners. If you're joining us on YouTube today, you can drop us a like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're checking us out on Facebook, look us up on Facebook. Just run search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Give us a like there. And, of course, if you want running wrestling commentary, memes, us liking stuff, you can follow us on Twitter at all of our accounts, starting with our main account at ScholarsOW, where you'll get episode uploads every single week. And, of course, you can also check us out on our personal Twitter machines for just running commentary and liking anything else that happens to come across our feeds. You can check out Scholar Tarek. We wish you, we hope you come back soon. I hope your family is going well. You can join him you can follow him at the Avataric. Brian, where can I reach you?
You can find me trolling the Daniel Bryan fan base at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can also follow me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join us for all the fun, especially with the way things are going on the road to WrestleMania. You're not going to want to miss a thing. But anyway, that's This Week in Wrestling. We're looking forward to the next one. But until then, you already know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
See you all next week.
Ah!